Hello, my lovelies. I hope everyone can hear me because this has just not been going very well at all, if I'm honest. We've had all sorts of tech issues, hence the reason why there's this beautiful looking camera just sort of right above my head because it's just not working out today. Hello, all of you. Can everyone hear me? Can I just make sure that, you can hear me? And I can't hear the music in the background, so is it too loud? Should I just turn it off? What do you think, people? What do we think? Loud and clear. Yes, can hear you fine. Yes. Wow, so many of you. Do you know what? I did this because I was thinking not that many people are going to join on a Monday evening. Or should I say, what is it? Monday. It's just after lunchtime for the US, isn't it? It's around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I never get to watch a live. Oh, well, everything is fine for me. I don't hear any music. Okay, so maybe the music's so low that you can't hear it, which is not necessarily a bad thing, people. Hello and welcome to the live stream. I know. Where have I been? Yes, we can hear. Hurricane coming or not, we have time for you. Oh, God, yes, I've been watching the news. It looks like you're in for some rather tricky weather, guys and gals. Okay, so it's about 3:30-ish for some of you in the States, so it's about mid-afternoon. You're still working your way. What is it? It's just gone 8:30 here at night. My plan was that that would give me enough time to finish work, sort myself out, get all the tech working, get the girls walked, get something to eat. And other than walk the girls, I think that's about the only thing I've managed to achieve today because everything else that I've tried to do has sort of fell apart. So, because everything is falling apart, the likelihoods are the way that this live stream is likely to rock along is my plan was that you would see my face on this screen and then when I flick you over to the stitching, you would see the stitching and you would see my androids with my pattern keeper on there so that we could do a brand new start Heaven and Earth design as my belated birthday new start. As you can see in that corner, oh, it's harder to do it backwards. That corner there, this is my new start. So this is, do you know what? I'm so disorganized, I've forgotten what it is. Hold up. It is the Wall Shop. And it is artwork by Lucy Pittaway. And I got totally enabled at my stitchy weekend that I went on last weekend where someone had done one of her designs, not this one. And I was so wowed by it, I could have just sat and stared at it endlessly. It was one of those, because every time I looked at it, I saw something different. And it was just so thought-provoking at the same time that I went and had a look on the website and saw this one and fell in love with it. Although... you know how much I hate to stitch white. Look how much white that's got. What am I thinking? But I couldn't help myself. I was just like, do you know what? It looks all rather blocky coloured. It's not all confetti heaven, which is basically what everything else that I stitch has. I mean, anything to do with Josephine Wall. Josephine Wall. So alternative reality. I think the only one that isn't that way is maybe Peacock's Lagoon, but it is once it gets into the depth of it. So I thought, you know what, this is one of those designs that you could sort of sit and pick a block of stitches and just do them. So that's the plan. So before the Android, I didn't finish the story, did I? So I hooked up my tablet to the computer and got it running. Sat here with it on whilst I was just setting all the tech up. Went upstairs, went and sorted myself out, went and got the girls. I thought all the time it was plugged in, it would be charging, only to find out that literally about 25 minutes before I was due to start the stream, it died. So I quickly went and chucked it on charge. So it's not got that much charge. So we're going to wing it. It's going to be one of those wing things where as long as it stays up and it's awake and doing what I need it to do, you'll see it, and then if it doesn't, then I don't know, I'll have to sort the screen out so it looks a bit different. How's that? Does that sound like a good enough plan? You never know what you're going to get when you come to one of my lives. Oh dear. So we're inland, so praying it will have minimum wrath for Mother Nature. Good for you. Well, hopefully. I'm hoping that for most of you it misses, and for those that it does hit, it's maybe not as bad as some of the others that you get. But you guys do get the weather, don't you? I mean, I know we moan about it sometimes, but we really don't get anything like what you get. Thank you for all the birthday or belated birthday messages. Wow, I got completely blown away on Facebook when I saw them. I was like, wow, where did all these people come from? So all the likes that I was doing. And my husband's like, what are you doing? Why does it keep pinging? And I was like, that's all my friends wishing me happy birthday. So you're all wonderful. And I'm so pleased that you've all come to hang out with me on my live for my belated birthday new start. Like I need another one. So before the Android goes and dies and we don't get to do this the way I'd like to do it, let's flick on over so I can show you my... Oh, do you know what? It's not doing it. It's not on there. Oh, people. Oh, dear. Come on, Teresa. Let me see if I can do it whilst I've got you on the chat. See, you're watching technology take place in front of your very eyes. No, you're not, because it's not doing it. Oh, God. This is not going according to plan. Hey, best laid plans. Hi, Teresa. So glad the threads arrived and looking forward to the progress photos and videos. Abby from Cross and Crafts. So this project particular, I decided to kit up with Abby's CXC threads. So we're rocking and rolling with some more CXC threads, and it was, I'm not going to say it was cheap as chips, but it sort of was in comparison to how much it would have cost me to kit this up with DMC. And I'm finding that I am loving the coverage with the CXC threads. So I'm going to flick this over. Now you might hear a bit of rummaging going on in the background, because as soon as I flick this over I need to put another light up, because the light that's on the stitching, because it's so late here, I can't get good enough light for you all. Okay, so just be warned if all of a sudden you hear all this crashing and banging going on. So I'm going to disappear now. Maybe I should put the chat up on the stitching page. Hold on, let me get my chat box up and see whether we can, because this wasn't the plan. The plan was that you were supposed to, she says, you were supposed to be able to see my pattern keeper, but you can't see pattern keeper now. So let's see if I've done this right, and hopefully I have. So let's fling it over and see what happens. What would a live stream with there be without tech issues? Karen, it's the bane of my life. I hate the tech. Right, okay, I'm going to flick you on over now, and you can see my no start so far. Oh, I need to move the camera as well. Okay, well, we'll wiggle you around once I've flicked you over. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's flick you over. Okay, now I'm going to... See, I'm just loving it. I'm loving it. Oh, I hate it when I'm so disorganised like this. Okay, there we go. It's not the best looking shot, people. I forewarn you. Where's my little light? So, how is everybody? Are we all okay? Are we all having a wonderful day? Sorry about the arm. I'm sure you loved every minute of that, didn't you? There we go. We've got a little bit of light. Now, we need to move some stuff around. And hopefully the microphone doesn't wobble about, because that's never a good thing. Okay. We have a little light. Now, let's see if I can actually do some stitching. Can we see this light? Is this light working, people? Or is it a bit dark? Is there really not much confetti? No, Gina. It is like loads and loads of sort of like stitches in one place in all the same colour. So it's like a bit blockier than what I'm used to. So that was the reason that I decided to go with it. It's all good. It's your birthday stream. Yeah. the birthday stream that's honestly, if you saw the stress levels earlier, or like literally before the stream started, I was like, oh, I'm gonna cancel the stream, it's not working, it's not going according to plan, I can't get it to work. And because my lovely daughter cannot help me because she is currently in the middle of her own live stream, so yeah, not very helpful. Okay, we're going to start. Where should we start? I think we're going to start about here. Although this is all loose and floppy. Oh, this is just not going well, is it? It is not going well, people. Do you know what? I hate it when I'm so disorganised that it's not going according to plan. Right, let's give this a bit of a tighten. Oh, come on. Don't do this to me now. Right, can anyone see where my stitch? Oh yeah, we can see my stitches. Okay, so first stitch. Time is, what's the time, people? 20:45 on the 26th of September, and she starts her birthday new start, and it is the Wool Shop by Lucy Pittaway, and I'm doing it half cross 2/1 on 28 counts. I thought that would be the right way to go. What do you reckon? Although you probably... Can you see any of this? Because I'm looking at the screen and I can't see. It looks all a bit dark. Is it a bit dark? God, I hate it when it goes this badly. Maybe I should promise you all that I'm going to do another... I'm going to do another live stream on another day. Because this is so shockingly bad. Oh. Bit dark, yes. Okay, let me see. Is there another way of doing this? Okay, any better? Oh, see, it's blinding me. I can't see a thing. There we go. Is that any better? Can you see the stitches? Or is it still really dark? Hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. Let me get to my 10 so that I can work out where my blocks are. Okay, so my blocks are going to end on the last bit of the dark grid line. Fabulous. Dark and out of focus. Oh, great. It's getting better and better by the minute. Okay, let me see if I can wiggle you about a bit. Okay. Oh, come on. Okay. This is turning into one of those videos, isn't it? You know, the ones that you never ever want to see in your life again. All over flosstube. I'm stitching and not watching, so it doesn't matter. I like that idea. Maybe you should all just head down, please. Listen to me waffle. And yeah, that might be the right way to go, actually. Because it's not quite as I anticipated. This was supposed to have been like, ta-da! Hello, everyone. Let's start a new live stream. First one in ages. Get lots of stitches in my new project. Have lots of chitty chatting, and look, the fabric's going all squishy now as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, let me just get myself sorted out here so that I know where I'm at, and then I can rock and roll a bit more. She says, here we go. What's this? Daphne, I should be stitching, but I can't stitch and type at the same time. I have that problem all the time. I'm not very good at the whole multitasking of stitching and chatting and concentrating all at the same time. Right, do you know what? I'm going to go across the top because going up and down, I don't do so well. Anne says, what fabric are you using? So I am using, I think it's Easy Guide 28 count gridded fabric. because I'm useless at counting. So this is the best version for me. It shouldn't really be this wobbly or this. Do you know what? I'm going to quickly check the camera and see whether the camera is not focusing on the right place. There. Let's try that. Your first 10 by 10 block, exciting. It is if we can actually get to the end of this 10 by 10 block without me launching it, because the fabric's already coming loose, because I didn't, well, I think because there's not much fabric at the top here, I've got about a 3 inch margin on this top section. And normally what I would do is, let me pull this down, normally here I would put some fabric over the top of this clip, which makes it so that it has more tension and makes it a bit tauter, but I didn't have time to do that, in all fairness. But now I'm kicking myself because I should have done that, and then maybe it wouldn't keep going quite so floppy on this top corner. But given that this whole stream is not going according to plan, I'm not about to take it all off. I mean, I could take it all off while I talk to you. I could put some on. Maybe that's, what do you reckon? Or do you reckon I should just wing this like it is, so unprofessional? It's not looking very good like this, is it? I think I might have to put something in this top section in a minute. See, this is why I like doing 10 stitch. I feel like I get so much done just in a really short space of time. I can see just fine. Maybe just zoom in a tad. I'm not sure that I can get it to zoom in anymore. No, that's as zoomed in as I can get it. It's not very good, is it? I need it lower. What's that? Trees out. Look up The Fairy Dancer, a Haid by Joan Marie. I think you would really like the colours. It's my new start today. Oh, someone else is doing a new start. Tina, what are you like? Watching on my phone on the way to Mexico. Left Phoenix this morning and can't access my pattern keeper. I'm watching you at the same time. Wow, that's going to be a journey, isn't it? I'm useless at counting, yet still able to play in an orchestra. See, now how can that be? Thankfully, I'm not playing in any orchestra today because it's not going according to plan. Do you know what? I can't stitch on it like this. I am going to have to pull this out and put some fabric in. Bonnie, come here. Please don't start now. Right. Do you know what? Let's flick the stream back over a minute, because I'm going to need to find some fabric to put in this top section, because I'm not happy, people. Not happy. And whilst I do that, it's alright, I did just wander off. I'm back again. Oh, let me flick this back over, because it's just going so well. There we go. Whilst I do this, oh, let me move this silly light out of the way. There we go, so you don't have to be submitted to that. Better, but still can't really see the stitches. Can you zoom in? Do you know what? In a minute, I'll try and pull this camera down lower. And then you'll see, you'll get such a close-up of it. You'll be like, whoa, Teresa, that's too close. What have we got? Better still, can't really see the stitch. Oh, better, but still can't really see the stitches. Oh, it's the same comment. Good morning from New Zealand. I love the pattern. It's so cute. Makes you want to go to the shop and look around. It sure does. Right, hold on. Where is... This isn't the pattern with... Okay. Fabric. Where's my fabric bit? Hold on. I need to find... This is not going according to plan. I'm so sorry, people. Oh, let me put my Be Right Back screen on. Hold on. There you go. You can still hear me though. I'm still hanging out in here. I'm just needing to find... Oh dear. You couldn't even make this up, could you? Even if you wanted to, you can't make this up. Right, where is... She says... found another project with, she says, with some fabric. There we go. Oh, right, let me see if I can pinch some of this off of this project. Where's my babies? Bonbons! The girls have been so naughty today, people. I cannot even begin to tell you. But Darren was here earlier, which was fine, because all the time Darren was here, they just went and, you know, charged around and misbehaved with him. But he's on nights this evening, so he's gone off to work just as I was about to go live, and it's like, yeah, they're just not doing as they're told. Right, let's put that one down there. Okay, let's sort this out, shall we? So, this is how badly it was prepped. You see that? It was just sort of thrown into it because I spent so much time messing around with the tech that still hasn't worked. And now it's just created absolute, yeah, a very unprofessional start to this video or to this stream. But hey, I'm going to say, well, it's more about just me hanging out with people for my birthday and less about me actually stitching anything. Can we accept that this time? Can you cut me some slack for how bad this video, how bad this live is? I promise next time that when I decide to go live, I'll make sure that the Guru Child Tech Whiz is here to get it all sorted and set up the way that it should have been set up in the first place. Okay. Oh, that's much better tension. Now for the camera. Let's see if I can. Just thinking, is there another light that I could turn on somewhere? Maybe there's another light. Or not. Okay, right. I'm going to flick you over. This is going to start moving. In fact, let me put you on my be right back screen so that I don't just jiggle you around all over the place, because I'm sure you won't appreciate that at all. And let me see if I can get this. Let me see if I can get this camera down a little more so that you can actually see what I'm doing rather than. Oh, it's the best video ever. Look at this. She says. Okay. Okay. Now, I've got it lower, a lot lower. But now I just need to make sure that you can actually see from the light. Hold on. Oh dear. Why is it not behaving? Right, okay. Let's see whether this is any better. You tell me, guys. If not, then I have no idea. Okay, let's try moving some of this dirt out of the way. How's that? Are we any better now? It can't get more live than this. Totally fine, right? Oh yeah. This is a breeze. This is exactly what I had planned for this one. Okay, what do we say? Love it. Need a little more light. Really? Oh no. This is the problem with doing lives late at night when you've not got enough light. See, now, if I had a plug socket, I could definitely turn another light on. I'm wondering. Love out loud. No worries. Life happens. You don't even have to put this on the right back screen. We're not going anywhere. Mum says you've done more stitches here already than you did at the retreat. I did lots of stitching at the retreat. Oh God, yeah, you don't know about that. I went on a lovely stitchy weekend. It was glorious, people. Glorious. Absolutely loved it. Had an absolute blast. Why does it look to me like this is not in focus? Is it in focus? I'm not liking this setup at all. I'll be honest with you. This is like how to have the worst live stream setup in the world. Right, where's my handy dandy tool so that I can mark some of this off so that we don't go wrong. Okay, there we go. We're having fun just listening to you. What, listening to me make a complete idiot of myself on this live? I mean, don't get me wrong. There's tech, and then there's tech, and this is just like by far the worst tech in the world. In focus, but way off to the left. Okay, well that's an improvement on where we was a minute ago. Let me see if I can move you a bit more. Do you know what? I think it's because I haven't really done any lives. So the way I used to set everything up. Oh, see, but we're right on the edge. How's that? Oh, I'm so sorry, people. Just chalk it up to real life. I know exactly how you feel. It happens to me all the time. Oh yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted. So anybody that was sitting there thinking, oh, you know, I'd love to do, you know, flosstube and some live streaming. It's lovely when it goes according to plan. It's not so lovely when it doesn't. All right, hold on. I've got to think about this. Where am I? So that one's that one. That one's that one. Okay, so we go. Hold on. Where am I? That one, that one. Yeah, that's it. That one. Teresa, what is your favourite type of fabric and count to work on? Yeah, see, that's where it gets a bit tricky because I've got certain favourites depending on what it is that I stitch on. So for instance, if I'm stitching on a lovely lady, whether it be a Mirabilia or a Bella Filipina, for instance, my preference would always be with a 25 count because when I'm doing beadwork, I like a little bit of wiggle room. Hold on, guys, I just need to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that is 10. So that's my 10. Hold on, I'm just making sure we're in the right place here. There we go. So if it's a lovely lady or something where I'm using like a hand-dyed fabric and it's not a full coverage, then my preference is, like I say, a 25 count because I like a bit of extra room for my beads. I don't like everything sort of getting squashed. That said, 28 count is also fine. I just have this thing about liking to stitch on a 25 count. When it comes to my full coverages, if I'm doing like alternative reality, so alternative reality is stitched on a 25 count, 1/1 full cross. But if I'm doing tent stitch, such as this one, then my preference is a 28 count, and then I just do 28 count, 2/1 half cross. My new dog is complaining. He is just jealous because I'm having stitchy time with you all. Well, I daren't look around. Well, actually, I've got one dog here. I'm not quite sure what's happened to the other one. In fact, I think I need to check where she is because she's so quiet and she never normally goes off on her own. So bear with, people. See, someone's got me worrying about the pooch now. She's not under the table, is she? No. Hang on, people. Let me find the dog. What was she doing? Come in here, because I can't see you in there. That's it. Go on the bed. Lay down. Yeah, see, that's worrying. When you find them mooshing around, just sort of, you know, up to no good. That's what she was doing just then. I'm sure that if I go on a good enough look, I'll go find and see exactly what she's been up to, because she's a little bit. she tends to sort of, you know, disappears for a little while, and then you think she's been good and that she's not up to mischief, and then later you find the reason why she was so quiet. Normally that she's chewed on something. So, yeah. No doubt I'll have something wonderful to look forward to when I get off this stream now. Just because it would just be a finisher for the day. Okay, we don't want to stitch there. Come on, Teresa. Stay with the program. Okay, so we don't want that one. Oh no, we do want that one. We don't want the next one. This is the problem when you go from working on full cross to then all of a sudden to tent stitch. You have to remind yourself. I find it really difficult when I first go back to working in tent stitch after working on full cross, what holes I need and what holes I don't need. But once I get my rhythm back, it's totally fine. Kelly says, this is why I'm not game to do a live, because I'd be an absolute train wreck. Well, welcome to the train wreck, people. I have my own little train wreck going on here. What do you know? What? In fact, I'll put it out there just because it's a fact. The more you do them, and the more you get used to what setup works versus what setup doesn't work, they get easier and easier. Like when I used to do the live streams and I knew exactly what the setup was in the other room, how much light I needed, where I needed my light, it was totally fine. But because this is sort of a new room, oh, hold up, Eldon, I've not marked that off. Let me mark this because, okay, where are we now? So we want that one. So this is what happens when you don't mark your chart off. And I want this one. That's it. Yeah, I found that when I was doing my lives regularly and I knew my setup and what worked and what didn't work, it was totally fine. It was an absolute blast. But because this is a new office, like a new room, and I haven't quite got the right light yet, and I haven't sort of done much live streaming from this room, unfortunately, the setup that I had earlier in the year when it was maybe lighter for longer it's not working today, as you can see, because I'm sitting here with the tiniest light in the world right above where the stitching is, and normally you would be seeing my face whilst I'm doing this, and if that had been the case, you wouldn't have been able to see anything. You wouldn't have seen any stitching. In fact, where the camera is, I don't think you would have seen my head either. So yeah, I think note to self, I do love a note to myself. Note to self will be come up with a better solution, because this is not the right setup. And if I was to do live streams like this, yeah, no. Not an option. Not an option. Just logged on to work. Just logged on to work on my Lucy Pittaway. Oh, what Lucy Pittaway are you working on? Morty and I both have puppy and a toddler, and when they both go quiet, wow, the dread is unreal. Yeah, you're not wrong there. I only do full coverage or full cross. I used to only do full cross, but the problem with some of my designs that I decided that I wanted to stitch is they're just too big. They're just too big and they would take me too long. Would you believe it? I've just accidentally pulled my needle out now. Oh dear. My brother and I look after 4 cats and a dog. Oh, I'm having enough trouble with these 2. In fact, my dog trainers, the people that I take the girls to when we go training on a weekend and some weeknights, had said to me, you know, they may be behaving themselves now, but they will get to an age where all of a sudden they'll start to misbehave, and it's when they sort of turn into like little mini teenagers. And I was like, oh no, they're not going to do that because you know, the 2 girls are just too well behaved not to. Do you know what? If you saw how badly behaved they were on their walk this evening and over the last few days, but it's not like they misbehave at home. So at home, other than the fact that they love a little play fight and they get a little bit excitable, which they're puppies, of course they're going to do that. They're actually really easy. You know, they don't ever try and bolt out the door. They know what stay is. They know what wait is. They know lay down. You know, they do all that. But it's the minute you try and take them outside. You try and take them outside on a lead, and well, it was embarrassing. Absolutely. I was mortified. Even my husband was like, what's happened to the girls? And I was like, I don't know. They've just turned into animals, like true animals. So literally, we got halfway on the walk. We had to turn them around, drag them all the way back because, yeah, it was that bad. That bad. That I turned around and said to Darren, we're going to have to go home and we're going to have to get the Holties out. Now, I only put the Holties on them when they were a little bit smaller because they're a bit competitive with each other. So it's like I was never too sure who was taking who for the walk. Most of the time, it actually looked like they were taking me for the walk. And obviously, when I had my hip surgery, because I couldn't, the only way for me to be able to walk the girls was not to have them pull me. I had to put the Holties on them, and they absolutely detested them. They would fight them every step of the way, but at least they couldn't pull me. What I should have done was persevered with them, but my husband was like, oh, they hate them, Tel. He said, just take them off. He said, they'll be fine. And then obviously when I started getting better and I had more control over myself as well as the girls, it was fine because I would just sort of, you know, I'd sort of keep putting them where they need to be and reinforcing, you know, like you do, a bit like with other children. So everything seemed fine. But then just over the last sort of 2 or 3 days, I don't know. It's a bit like someone feeding their kids, you know, loads of E-numbers, like Smarties, and then asking them to behave themselves. That's sort of what happened. So, yeah. So you can imagine the fact that I had a walk like that with the girls, then come back, quickly had something to eat, tried to do all of the prep for this. Then the android died, of which, I mean, how long this survives, I do not know. Because once this doesn't survive, we have to stop stitching people because I'll have nothing to stitch from because my pattern keeper is on the android. And the plan was that you were supposed to have been able to see the android so that you could see how far we'd got. It's not going according to plan, is it? But as you can imagine, earlier on, I was sitting there thinking maybe I should just cancel the live because the day is not going according to plan already. And you know what? Next time, I think I will listen to my head voice. When my head voice says, it's a bad day, Teresa. It's not a good day for this. Maybe I should just, I don't know, make myself a lovely Horlicks and just go and chill out in the bed and do nothing, interact with no one or do anything. Okay, look at that. Look how fast we did the first colour of the first square. How cool. See, this is why I like 10 stitch. It's just too quick. Just too quick. Okay, we're going to park that down now so that one's at the ready. That's a towel, so I need to cut him a little shorter. This is how I start my heids. So because I'm going to try this one the same as the other ones and get it on a constant 10 by 10 block diagonals, instead of just necessarily coming down here, I'm going to go across one, but then I'll come down here, and then I'll go across one, and then I'll come down here, and then I'll come down here. Does that make sense? You know how much I love my little blocks. If it goes anything more than a block, then I'll completely lose my ability to sort of work out where I need to be. Okay, so mark that. And mark that. Okay, so more threads, people, more threads. Teresa, you have made my day. I'm glad I've made somebody else's day. Is anyone having a day like I'm having? Please tell me that it's not just me today. Is anyone else having like a truly not as you would like to plan a Monday sort of day? It's been one of those from the start this morning. Glad you stuck with it, Teresa. I, for one, am glad you did the live. You've made my day. I used to live in an area where sheep were allowed to roam freely. The amount of sheep do I have to avoid on my way to school. Not a fan of sheep. I love all though. Yeah, I must admit, we do have sheep, obviously, but just not very many of them. When my sister used to live down sort of southwest way. I say southwest, sort of Andover-ish type way. And I remember I drove to my sister's house, and I hadn't seen her for ages, and she used to live where I live in Essex. So, you know, sheep come at a premium here. And then when I drove to my sister's, and I got to about 4 miles out, literally, it was nothing but sheep. To the point that I actually made a comment to my sister, and I was like, do people walk sheep for, you know, I said, do people walk the sheep here? I said, instead of dogs. I said, there's just so many of them. Every single field I went through had loads and loads of sheep and lambs in it. Ah. It's not just you, trust me. Going to be doing lots of stitching the next few days. My area in the path of a dangerous hurricane. Oh, rather. Oh no. No, please no. Oh no. Guess what just happened, people? Just guess. Can you guess? Can you guess what just happened? I bet you can. See, look where the camera is. This is my life today. This is one of those. It's okay, I'm on Tuesday. Love that you're persisting with the lie. I can't persist now. That's it. That was the best I could do because the Android just died. The Android literally right in front of my face just died, which has got the pattern on. No, don't worry, stitching with the kids. I didn't pick the wrong colour. It's definitely the right colour. Oh, people. I can't make this up, can I? I cannot make this up. Right, that's it. I'm going to move the camera out of the way because I can't stitch anything. So let's move that, shall we? Well, we did a whole partial square of one colour for this live stream. That is like a record of the fastest finish of live streaming actual stitching that you've ever seen in your life. Oh, sorry about the Android. Would it not work whilst it's... Do you know what? That's the thing. I thought that all the time that it was connected to the computer and that it was sharing the image on here, that it would be charging. And it's not done that. But even though... Let me see. Yeah, no. Even though it's currently not connected at all, apart from... It's not connected apart from plugged in. But it's not been running on the stream because I couldn't get it to come up. I was under the impression that it would just continue to charge itself. And it's not been doing that. So it's not charged at all. Too funny. This is just not the funniest ever live, is it? Oh, let me read some comments whilst I decide what to do next. I could sort my threads out. So I decided that because I had a whole bunch of the floss chips, because I had a whole load of these as spares, blanks, I ordered a few more and decided that I'm going to keep this project up on these because it's such a blocky design. Like, because you can see, like, there's lots of blue, there's lots of white on the sky, on the top of the roof, on the picture. On that picture up there that you can see, I was thinking, because although there are lots of different colours in it, there's a lot of block colour. I was thinking this could actually be a really good train project. I've never done a full coverage on the train before, so I was thinking that might be a good idea. What do we think? Do you reckon it's possible to do like a full coverage on a train instead of just my smalls? Can you put it on charge while stitching? Well, I thought it was on charge whilst it was plugged in. So for me to go and find somewhere else for it to charge, probably not. No. Not without disappearing again. And I feel like I've done a lot of disappearing, considering I've only been on the stream for a short amount of time. Well, I say a short amount of time. It's nearly an hour already. I've spent more time talking about the sagas of this actual stream than I am actually doing any stitching. But we have started, she says. I'm you know, just so that I can share it with you. And if I hold it up, I guarantee you can see it better in the light. See, we do have stitching. There you go. Just to prove that I have actually done some stitching on this live stream. Maybe I shouldn't get Pattern Keeper still to do the paper. I'm so old school. Do you know what? It's only because I'm trying to do a live and that I'm trying to connect it to the PC. Normally, I will have this sat on my stand or on a table, plugged into a normal plug, on charge, and it's totally fine. And even in all fairness, if I'd have charged this 100% and then gone on the live, this would have lasted for hours. That's the worst bit about this. That's what's just making me kick myself, because I was not prepared or organised as I should have been. Teresa, what are those floss drops? So these ones, these are the Pip and Chips floss chips. They do bobbins, but they also do the floss chip. These are the blanks. So I got a load of blanks with my actual set, because they do them as a set. You can just buy the blanks, but let me show you my set. Hold on. Oh. So I've got them all in here. And these are the ones that are actually Bonbons, shush. These are the ones that have actually got the colour-coded sections on and the numbers on. Bonnie, go lay down. Go lay down. Go on the bed. So I have the full set of DMC range in the boxes over there. But then what came with those was a load of blanks. So because I had these already, I decided that I would order, because they do a set. I can't remember how many it was. I think it was another 160 for like about £40, I think it was, something like that. And I thought, well, I'll order them and write the numbers on. So literally, these have got no numbers on them. I've just written the number on at the top in a permanent marker. And the beauty of these is I can use these, then put it onto my CXC stash when I finished, and just use a bit of rubbing alcohol to rub that off, rub the number off, and then it's all reusable. But I like these because they go on sidewards. They've got a really, really big hole, which I love. But they've also got a little hole there for like when you have like your small pieces. They're probably designed more for smaller projects, but the fact that I want to try and do this as a train project, any other system that I use, including the Annie's Keepers, because the Annie's Keepers, with these, how can I describe it? So with these, when they're on a ring, they all sit nicely in a row, and the thread hangs at the bottom. with the Annie's Keepers, they all sit straight on and the thread hangs downwards. Probably doesn't make any sense to anyone. But because I had a whole ton of these, I was like, well, it makes total sense for me to use these on this project. And then that way, all of this should be able to fit in a project bag, and I can just take it in a little Q-snap like this onto the train. Because normally I would use Paco thread organisers for my full coverages. And I have got my Annie's Keepers on the project bars as well, but they take up a lot of space in a project bag. So it wouldn't be something that I would necessarily want to traipse on a train. But this, and then I just sort of ravel all the threads up and stick it on top, and then stick it all in a bag. That's much easier to carry around with me than some of the other options. You can stitch and chat. I love listening to you. Laura says, I did so not want to miss this, but I did. Well, you did. Well, you did. It's sort of, we stitched for a minute and then it was over because I stopped stitching. But maybe I should sit here and sort out my threads instead. In fact, I can't even sort out my threads. Oh, yes, I can. Can I? Can I sort out my threads? No, I can't because the pattern. Oh, well, people. At least you can say that I started my birthday new start with my flosstube friends, which was the plan. That was the plan for earlier in the weekend. So the plan was to actually do a live stream with you on my birthday to do my birthday new start. That was the plan. Didn't go according to plan, and then the weekend got away from us, and before you know it, that didn't work either. So yeah, so it didn't happen. So then I was thinking, well, it's not going to happen, and then by next weekend it will be the end of the month, which means there'll be the monthly update video. So it's like, how on earth am I going to have time to do a monthly update video and render it and do all of that and do a live stream? It just wasn't going to happen. So hence the reason why I was thinking, well, I'm working from home on Monday, perfect day to do this. Yeah, it would have been a perfect day had my day not been going atrociously from the very start. And when I say going atrociously from the very start, I mean it's gone atrociously from the very start. It started this morning at just gone 6 o'clock when my boss was originally scheduled to travel out to the States today, and he's going to be out in the USA until Friday, and then he was supposed to come home on Friday and then jump on another flight on Monday to go to Dubai for the week. That was the plan. And at about 6:30 this morning, that all got changed and it all got cancelled for Dubai. So I had to go and cancel everything because the way that his legs of his journey were, I couldn't just cancel them all because it was like a multi-leg trip. So yeah, needless to say, the whole day has just been one of those days. So I'm not surprised that this has not gone according to plan, because the whole day hasn't gone according to plan. Oh, I'm trying to find a way to make my full coverage piece more portable. Yeah, see, that is the only trouble with full coverage, I find. I do know a lot of people that they don't have any fear whatsoever about putting their full coverage pieces on Q-snaps and then folding it over and putting the Q-snaps over their stitching, and they just work on little Q-snaps. But I have no idea what they do about their threads. But then because I'm a bit fussy, because I mean, well, you couldn't exactly traipse around with a bobbin box. Not on trains anyway. I mean, maybe if you was like stitching in the car or when you was travelling like on a holiday, you could probably get away with it. But anything that's got a lot of threads, like like the full coverages do, then I think you have to sort of find what works for you. I mean, as long as it fits in a project bag or a holder of some description, then I can sort of get away with it. But I can't have anything that's too heavy or too bulky, because the last thing I need is to leave it on the train by accident, you know, and forget a bag, for instance, because that has happened. That has happened. Hi Candy, welcome to the stream. Although sort of we did start streaming, we did one block of stitching and then the Android died, so now I can't do any more stitching because I can't get to the pattern because it's on there. It's not, yeah. Oh, it's not going well. I love the new system, so clear. Yep, that's the plan. That's the plan, that it will be. Well, time will tell. I mean, I'm not working in the city this week. So this week, I've got all this week to fill up my floss chips with the colours. And what I'm going to do, what I might think of doing, is look at the page that I'm stitching on and only actually load up the colours for that page, so that way I'm only walking around with the colours for the page that I'm sort of working on. That won't work as it gets further along because I'll be going across pages. But although it's got a lot of colours in this chart, because there's a lot of colour that's the same, I think it would be like the odd stitch here and there that might be a bit different, in which case I could do the majority of the bulk colour whilst I'm commuting, and then fill in the other ones afterwards, like when I'm at home. What if you did the outline of a colour at home and then stitch the inner on the train? That way you only need maybe a couple of colours. Yeah. See, the only trouble is on a full coverage, it doesn't always work like that, because I don't think it's that blocky. I think it's sort of 2 or 3 colours that reside in the same area but throughout. But that wouldn't be a problem. I'm pretty sure that I can work with just a few. In fact, anything up to about 50 colours would fit on this ring. I mean, this is, let's have a look, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. There's 30 on this ring. So this would easily hold, what do you reckon, 60? It would easily hold 60. Now, bearing in mind that most full coverages only require between, about 90 colours. So in all fairness, I could probably just have 2 rings and have all the colours that I need on 2 rings. So then it would just be a case of making sure that the threads don't get too tangled. But the way that I sort of fold my threads like that and then put it in the bag. So, and then when I lift it up, they all sort of untangle anyway. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be a problem at all, in all fairness. At least I don't think so. I'm working on something special in honour of the late Queen, as I'm an avid royal watcher. Oh yes, I mean, well, I was very kindly gifted. It's one of the memorabilia freebies that was given out, I think, at one of the retreats. So there's not a copyright issue, I'm assured. But it's basically like a crown. I think, who was it? Was it Stitching Bunny? Was it Stitching Bunny that done it? I think she did it. But I liked it so much that I was thinking that's such a lovely sort of thought. But I quite liked the idea of that. Yeah. And then the plan was maybe it could, maybe I could turn them into sort of gifts. Because a lot of my family are royalists, and they love the royals. They love the royal family, especially the Queen. So I was thinking it would be a good idea as a memorable piece, but also as a gift. And someone was kind enough to share the chart with me. So that's another thing that I need to sort out. See, do you know what? I've got so many. I used to think that I didn't have enough projects that I could take that were portable for train projects. Now I've got more projects than I know what to do with. In fact, I can't even get to them fast enough. There's that many. Maybe only take the colours that you need for the page. Yeah, that was what I was thinking. Do you ever stitch in hand, Teresa? I have tried it, and although I can do the method, I find that my hand gets really sore from holding the fabric. So I can do the sewing method, so that you just sort of you stick it in and stick it out of the next hole ready for the next one. That's fine when I'm on a run, when you've got to run backwards and forwards stitching. I'm not very good at it when there's like only 2 or 3 stitches and then thinking about how to do it. So I have tried it. I just, even when I'm on the train, I have my Q-snap and I balance it on my handbag, and I use 2 hands on the train. But I know that there's a lot of people that do in-hand stitching, and they can get massive amounts of stitching done. That's not me. I'm like one of the really, it's like watching a child cross stitch. When the minute you take it out of a Q-snap or off of a frame and you say to me, Teresa, stitch something, it's like watching a child stitch. It's that bad. Just take 5 or 6 colours with you. I think that might be the right idea, actually. For full coverage for now, I'm able to stitch 1 colour. I take it with me because it's about 1,000 crosses, 2 colours at the most. See, now, if I was a cross-country stitcher, maybe that would work. But I think if I had, because at first I was thinking, well, I don't necessarily have to take it all, do I? I could just take 1 or 2 colours, pick a colour on a page and just fill in the whole page of that colour. That at first was like, well, then maybe I could try something other than parking just to give it a go. But then I was sitting there thinking to myself, but then I've got to count. And then I've got to make sure I don't go wrong. And that scared the pants off me. If I'm honest, I was like, there is no way I can do that. The only reason that I don't make so many boo-boos on my full coverage is because I stay within my 10 by 10 block. On the odd occasion that I have tried to sort of veer off and gone, a bit more cross-country-ish and just sort of finish a thread to the end, the amount of times that when I then got to it, I've actually put something in the wrong place. And then if you put one in the wrong place, they're all in the wrong place. So, I think I stick with my parking in my 10 by 10 blocks. It's not fail-safe, but it's more fail-safe for me. That's what works for me. Yeah, that's right. Mid-CA is hot too. It's definitely not here, I can assure you. Hence the woolly roll neck. We're in the woolies already. Temperatures have plummeted. What's this? I do what parents taught me to do. Bobbins and floss cards. It's amazing how we go back from what we're taught with. But I wasn't ever taught. You lot taught me. The community of flosstube taught me how to stitch. There is no one that I knew, no one in my family. I mean, even my nan. I mean, my nan loved her knitting. She loved her crochet. She never cross stitched. So everything that I learned is from you guys. What would I do without you all? Do you know what? I actually looked the other day. I can't remember what I was doing. I was doing something, and what became very apparent very quickly was, I think it was this year was my 8th year flosstube anniversary. 8 years. 8 years I've been on flosstube. So then I was sitting there thinking, well, if I've been on flosstube for 8 years, then I must have been stitching for about 8.5-ish years, because I think it was about 6 months before I done my first flosstube was when I was still learning, and I was just dabbling with things. So 8 years. Wow, people, that feels like a long time. Long time. What pattern are you starting today? Well, I did start the pattern. If you look, I keep doing it the wrong way. That picture up there, the one with the two sheep in it, with the looking at the jumpers as if to say, like those. Wonder if my wall's going to look like that when it's done. That was the chart that we started, but my Android died, which had Pattern Keeper on it, which means that I could only get the first colour of the first square in. And then that was it. It was all game over from there, wasn't it, people? But what can I say apart from the fact that you are all amazing? Because even though you are not watching me stitch or just listening to me whilst I'm stitching, you're still here and you're still watching, but even though I'm not stitching. But that was the plan. But in all fairness, the start has started. So the belated birthday new start live stream did happen. It was just like a glimpse. And then it was over. You can't even make it up. I must be going. Hope to see you soon with another floss tube. Thank you for coming and hanging out on the stream. I found a small pillow on Etsy for Queen Jubilee, following all the coverage on her passing. So sorry for your British friends on her passing. She was a remarkable woman. Oh yes, she was, but true to her word. True to her word. She did say that she would do the job until she died if she was able to, and she did exactly that. So she done us proud, and she done herself proud. She was a lovely queen. It's easy for me because I have key tags with labels that are similar to hers but more cheap. I think it was $100 for $20. I just put them on the open ring. Ah, so you've got something, key tags. I'll have to have a little look at that. Although, the fact that I've already got these and the rest are coming, I don't think I'm going to need any more of those for any time soon. Because the plan is not to have any more new starts. I need to sort of contain myself after this. Because I was clocking up the numbers. Because there's a little bit of something that you don't know, which will come out on my flosstube update next weekend. Or this weekend, should I say. Where I will share a little bit more information and you will get to see, yeah, just how bad I have been. And then you'll understand why I'm saying that there must be no more new starts until I finish stuff. So as and when I finish something, I can have a new start, but not the other way around. Not for now, anyway. Couldn't you just take a few colours for the train instead of the whole ring? Yes, 2 rings. Leave the big one at home and take a few colours with your project on the train. That would probably be a good idea. But then I would need to be organised. And this video, or this live, is basically proof of the pudding that I'm not very good at organising, it appears. So I'm not sure that I would necessarily trust myself. I'd get on the train and be like, damn it, I've brought the wrong ring with me. I could just imagine what could go wrong. I found flosstube 2 years ago. My eyes opened up big. I started stitching in 1984 and I used the plastic big bobbins. 1984 you started stitching, yet you've only found flosstube in the last 2 years. Do you know, there's a lot of people that say that though. There's a lot of people that they've sort of said, I've been stitching for years and had no idea that flosstube even existed. So it's like, wow, yeah. Well, we definitely know it exists, don't we? What's one more new start though? It's only figure. Well, I'm starting to think that. I mean, yeah, when I start looking at my list of whips now. But I do find myself getting slightly anxiety, like when I look in the cupboard and I'm like, God, I've got all those whips that I haven't touched this month. Because I do feel like everything should get a bit of love, but they don't all get love. I mean, it's a bit like my Chatelaine love. It's sat on the side over there and has not been picked up this month at all. Maybe that's what I need to do this week. Or not. We will see. We will see. Tina Healy says, I remember your first video. Been with you from the beginning. Yay. Hearts. Hearts. Thank you so much. So many of you have been with me from the beginning. And wow, this video looks like one from the beginning, doesn't it? It's going that well. Right, people, do you know what? The fact that it is 9:43 and we did the start. We did do some stitching. I think it's time for me to say goodnight. Seems as I'm not actually doing any stitching. It has been fabulous to actually do my new start and actually officially start it with my flosstube friends. So I didn't just sit here starting it all by my little Lori Lonesome. I know we only got the first colour of the first square, but every stitch counts, right? If you can't start it without sticking a needle in it, and we did do that. We managed that. So I thank you so much for coming and spending your time with me, even though it was by far not the most professional job you've ever seen in your life. I promise I will try to do better. Fingers crossed. The next time I decide to do a live, I will have Lauren, my little tech guru, and I'm going to try and use this video to explain to her sort of the pitfalls of the lighting, and I'm sure she'll come up with a cunning plan of how we can rectify it. So thank you so much. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. Thank you for all the belated birthday wishes. Thank you all for your time this evening, and until next time, people, which will be next week for my update. Bye bye for now. Now I've got to turn you off.